How's it going? How are you all doing? Just uploading it on my on Twitter, and then we're good to go. Um, how are we all doing? We all good? Okay. Hello and welcome back to Darren and Doing for another episode of Tottenham transfers. I know you're probably thinking going live at half 12 is pretty jobless behaviour, but we've actually got some Tottenham transfer news to sort of cover finally. Matthew Sapola, how you doing, mate? Well, we're all driving in -5 degree weather. Need some good news. Well, hopefully there's some good news to come today. But thanks for listening. Hopefully you get to work all right, mate. We're gonna cover a few things today. Nice Tash, mate. I'm trying so hard to force a bit of puberty. Like, I'm 20 years old and I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to grow, voice to break. I got one pube and I piss out of it. But hopefully good times are coming. Just like hopefully we're gonna make some signings in January. But thanks, Connell. So Tyler Dibling, we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Matias Cunha. We're going to talk about Milan Skriniar. And if anything does happen whilst we're alive, we'll get into that as well. But these are the three sort of topics I want to get into. Yesterday we had our first bit of. Well, we haven't had a bumper in a while. I think this kind of was one. We got the news that Tottenham are RB Leipzig's main rivals for the signing of Tyler Dibling from Southampton, which I think got a lot of people excited, but came with a little bit of not skepticism, but a little bit not disappointment either. But you're looking at an 18-year-old who's ripping up the Premier League with at Southampton. He's the only. I mean, he's a diamond in the rough at Southampton, and they're so bad. Um, and he burst onto the scene and looked really, really lively. He's a right winger, 18 years old, English. I think he went to Chelsea in as an academy player, but apparently got homesick and went back to Southampton. That's what I've heard off James Alcott's The Ripple Effect. But he's kind of the stylistic fit that we've been crying out for on that right hand side. That sort of direct, can beat a man, go either side, with a bit of he's got a bit of the Grealish to him. He's not a blistering pacey winger, is he? He's very refined, strong, and his ball progression is remarkable for 18 years old to come into the Premier League and make an instant impact like that. Players just bounce off him when they try and tackle him. He is one of a kind, and actually, he's probably the closest talent to maybe a Cole Palmer in the fact that he's so young, but he is the best player on the pitch for the team he's playing for. Obviously, Cole Palmer was a bit of an extreme comparison, but in that regard, he is Southampton's best player, and he's 18 years old. So he's kind of a talent you don't want to miss out on. So the rumours are that he'd be worth about 30 million euros. So that's about 27 mil in pounds, I think. But it's the question of whether we do it now, or whether we maybe sign him and then loan him back out to Southampton, just so that's done in the summer. Because what is the January objective? It's so late in the window. We're all sat here twiddling our thumbs. Daniel Levy's knocking one out in his office. There's nothing going on. It's the 22nd of January. Let's see. Let's see if this develops over the next few days. Let me know how you feel about it. The Tyler Dibling signing. Is he the new Cole Palmer? Could he have that impact? I'm not too sure. But the thing is, he is perfect for the way we want to play for that right hand side. But he's another one of them who's like he's not for the now. He would definitely probably become our like best winger. Him and Mikey Moore on either side is a scary thought. I think they're actually quite similar in the way they sort of drive with the ball. But that's a scary thought for years to come. Having those two on the wing, Solanke up front. I mean, that is a really good front three. Kulusevski in behind. They are a little bit all quite similar in the fact that they're not all they haven't got blistering pace, but they can just carry a ball, and they're very technical. But is it one of those things where he's not for the now? Oh, if we sign him, we're not backing Ange again, because Ange isn't going to be there when we get the best of Tyler Dibling in 2 to 3, 4 years. Let's be honest, Ange isn't going to be here. I hope he is, because that means he's turned it around, but I don't know. So here we go. Let's see some of the questions. Billy says, "Big up, Will. I'm working. I'm afraid, so I can't get involved. We'll definitely give it this a watch later." That's right, mate. Thank you. Thanks for joining, legend. Kane says, "Get Dibling done now and let him stay at Southampton for the rest of the season. Bigger clubs will come for him in the summer, and Spurs will miss out." Yeah, that's exactly what I'm feeling, because you look at things. I mean, Cole Palmer is like the ideal scenario or to sort of represent what you're saying. He was available for 40 million quid. We ended up buying Brennan Johnson that window for 50 mil. And he was out of favour at Man City. Well, he wasn't out of favour, but he wanted first team football, and it wasn't guaranteed at City. And Chelsea acted on it, and it instantly became their best player. And remember that season when he was shining? That Chelsea team was shit. And he was their shining light, and he carried them through the season. And I know I'm not expecting this to happen with Tyler Dibling. I think it's a bit different, but I think, has that raw potential, that fearlessness that Cole Palmer at that age had as well. So I'm excited. But yeah, we need to get this done. We need to sign him, and then see. And then loan him out just to secure that deal, and because he'll be playing for a top 6 club. Well, in the summer, someone will sign him. Someone will make that move, and then we'll be looking at another player that we've missed out on, that we didn't take that leap on. And we need to do that leap of faith and reap the rewards of it in the next couple of years as he develops into a proper player, because he is such a talent, and he is quite refined for his age. Matthew says, "We have done well with young players from Southampton in the past. Could be the new Bale." Yeah, Bale. Who else? There's someone else in there. Bale. So we signed Toby from Southampton, Wanyama from Southampton. Is there any other players I'm missing? Trying to think. Yeah, but yeah, we have snatched up some talent from Southampton. I'll tell you what, Liverpool have as well. Liverpool always take their best talents as well, and I can see. Well, I don't know if he'd fit Liverpool necessarily, but a team in that ilk that can sign Tyler Dibling, and then you see how good he actually can be in a team around him that carries the same type of quality. Travis Leveson, how you doing, mate? He says, "Hello, mate. How you doing?" Yeah, I'm good. I'm working tonight, but I thought I was going to do this last night actually, but I fell asleep. I fell asleep around like 5 o'clock, and then I had football in the evening, so I couldn't really do it. I was a bit annoyed because we had some developments whilst I was at football about Cunha, so we could have had 2 streams. But instead, I'll bring it in one. But I hope you're doing well, mate. Matthew says, "Plus Odebear, and if Yang is good, we have depth in that position." Proby says, "Ill will." How you doing, mate? Good. Yeah, Odebear and Yang. That's another. I mean, everyone forgets about Odebear because he's just been injured. If he keeps fit, he looks like he's going to be so good for us. And he's almost like a little secret weapon that we don't really know we have, because he looked like our best winger over the course of 2.5 games, then got injured. So I don't know, but he adds that. That if Dibling comes, if we're set for the next 5 years, I think Moore and Dibling are quite similar in the fact that they're ball carriers, can go either way, but they're really good at beating the man. They're direct, great end product. But I feel like you need that balance of maybe a more lightning quick or trickier winger on the other side. I mean, I might be wrong, but with Kulusevski as well, that you'll have if you're looking to the future with Mikey Moore, Dibling, Kulusevski in an ideal world, because that's what the future's what it looks like. I feel like you will always need another type, another profile of winger on the other side to try and keep the back line guessing. And I feel like Odebear is going to be pivotal for the future. And Yang, we'll see what happens. I feel like Yang might have to get a loan out in the summer, build his confidence up, build his pedigree up, But again, he's another one. We've secured that signing. We need to do that again. We need to secure that signing, and well, uh, if we secure the Dibling signing and loan him out, doesn't help Ange, does it? It doesn't help Ange, and that's 30 mil coming out of our bank in January. My question is, what is our January objective? Because as fans, we know it is crucial to sign players to help Ange, to back him, and to give him a go, give him some sort of reinforcement, some ammunition to try and turn this form around. And we're waiting so late. I mean, Hoffenheim, Leicester coming after a European night where Leicester are going to be fighting for their lives. These are looking like tough games, but they don't need to be necessarily. And we need reinforcement. If we sign Tyler Dibling, he's injured for 6 weeks, one. And two, we probably have to loan him out, or will he make an instant impact? Who knows? But you're kind of looking at, well, we'll get into it. Cunha, that type of profile, that type of player, and that pedigree to come in and actually improve the first team 11 straight away, which is really hard to do in January. But we've done it before. We've done it with Kulusevski. We've done it with Bentancur. This can be done. It's not impossible. So it is just really, really frustrating. And the thing about Tyler Dibling, he's 18 years old. Ange doesn't need any more youth players. Doesn't need any more youth players. This will be a signing that surpasses Ange, a lot like the deals we did in the summer. I think we all know that these players, they're going to be here after Ange. We knew that at the time in the summer. Gray, Bergvall, Yang, Odebear. Who else did we sign? We signed so many youth players. We all knew that this project surpasses Ange. It's just can Ange get the best out of him, and he was forced a really hard hand. And Tyler Dibling coming in again, that's a signing that surpasses Ange. This goes further than the Ange Postecoglou sort of era and tenure. But when you've seen what Ange can do with players who come in at the right age profile, ready-made players, Premier League experience, you've seen he can get the best out of them, like Dominic Solanke. We need more Dominic Solankes. So let's sort of get your opinions on Tyler Dibling, and then we can move on to Matias Cunha, who, bit unrealistic, let's be honest, but the interest is there, according to Sami Mokbel. And Fabrizio Romano has said that there's 4 Premier League clubs interested in Matias Cunha. And if we're going to go off what Sami Mokbel said, that could be Spurs as well. So Travis Leveson says, I do think Dibling is very similar to Kulusevski. Also, you say it's about securing the signing. Even players like Yang, just having them as an asset over others is great. Yeah, I mean, if that means that Timo Werner doesn't have to play for us again, getting Tyler Dibling now, pull the trigger, do it straight away. Because I'm tired of seeing players that they're not here for the long term. They're not here for this project. They're literally here for stopgaps. I'd rather give it, in the moment we're in right now, I mean, you saw it with Mikey Moore against Everton. I'd rather give it to hungry players that are still trying to prove themselves in a Spurs shirt, that can be these bright, shining lights during really, really dark times. And we can sign, and then we can move forward with them. And I mean, you've seen the confidence boost you've had in Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall just from playing them. And Tyler Dibling, if he comes back from injury, say we don't loan him out, say we keep him, he could grow this season and be ready-made for the next season. But I do agree with you. He is very similar to Kulusevski, and I think him and Mikey Moore are quite similar as well, in the fact that they're ball progressors. They can beat a man, but they're not. They rely on physicality. I mean, Mikey Moore physicality as a winger in the youth team. I think that will come through as he keeps developing in his body, but also technicality. And it's that combination of technicality, physicality, kind of alleviates the need to have blistering pace. Travis Leveson says, if it's between a stopgap that isn't a great fit but may help us get out of this rut and Dibling, I choose Dibling. Yeah, mate, I would be so excited. And 30 mil, that is going to look like a bargain. It's going to look so good going forward, because he's going to be worth 50. I mean, he's going to go in the summer because he can't be playing championship football. He's that much of a prospect. He can't be playing championship football. But he's he's that much of a talent that he will be going for 50, 60 mil in 2 years' time. And we've done this before. What we have been good is that we're signing these players, like we're saying with Yang, having those players as an asset and keeping them and securing them, and then seeing where their career goes. There's so many times where we'll look at a player and we're interested. We don't pull the trigger, and then 3 years down the line, we're looking at spending 50, 60 mil on him, and then our wage, it will break the wage structure because they're so good. I'm thinking about Eze, I'm thinking about Elise, Alex Scott. There are so many players. I could go on for ages, but this would be that would be similar. And getting Tyler Dibling in now, even if it's for a loan out or to use him as much as we can, especially with the competitions we've got, Europa League. He's a homegrown asset. He's 18. He's a homegrown asset. It will be huge for us. But my feeling is, hang on, let me just read the comments. Probably saying 10 degrees in Philly, real feel of -2. We had another issue with the plant last night, and I'll probably be spending a good bit of time outside this morning once my supervisors arrive. We may be in the championship too. Yeah, Matthew, that is true. Tyler Dibling might be a good player in the championship. We might need him. But the thing I want to sort of touch upon is this January objective. What is our January objective? I see it as we need to spend for two reasons. One, to backhand, obviously. That's the clearest thing we need to do right now is to backhand, because we're leading in blind through these tough times. We're blind as fans. We don't know what to expect. We've lost so much hope, and we're a sinking ship. We need numbers. We need reinforcements. Even Romero's back in training. Are you confident that if he? I mean, I'd be so nervy him being thrown straight into the team. I think he needs a little bit of time to sort of get back to full speed, because it's such an intense system. Getting thrown straight back into it, that's tough, and he probably will have to, because we're so low on numbers and quality. And Romero is so pivotal to the way we play out from the back. But I mean, we need numbers to allow the players that are injured to recover without that stress of getting back fit as soon as possible. And just to build on a bit of confidence, if we can get some more results in these next few games. 2 weeks can be massive in football. If we can sign some players now, 2 weeks left to go, the momentum could switch. We could win a few games with these new signings, and then the players start coming back. There's less pressure of if these players get injured, we're fucked. Like, this could be a turning point. And the second reason for spending is, if Ange is going to go, there's a lot to do in the summer. There's a lot to do in the summer. We heard yesterday from who was it? I can't remember who the journalist was, but Ange Postecoglou, Christian Romero is open to leaving in the summer. So that's another. If we've got about 5 positions we need to fill. I still think even after Tyler Dibling, we'd need a more established right winger, a ready-made player for the now, and then a number 6. We need number 6. We need, well, we kind of need another left winger, I think, in my opinion, but I don't think that's as much of a priority with Mikey Moore or De Bear there. We kind of want to give them the faith and to sort of develop and give them time. And we don't really want to block their pathways, but I think we need at least 2 more centre backs. I don't think Dragusin is the answer, and I feel like Dragusin, it's probably smart to move him on if there's interest in the summer. It's almost like a stopgap signing. He doesn't fit the system. He doesn't fill me with a lot of hope as an actual out and out defender. I think I would sell him in the summer. And then you're looking at a left back as well. We haven't even signed a backup left back. There's a lot of work to do in the summer. And selling Christian Romero, that's even more. It's going to be overwhelming. And we know this board, they do the bare minimum. That's all they do. They do the bare minimum. So they'll probably spend all summer looking for Romero's replacement, sign a player like Mark Gay or someone, and be like, there we go. Fucking hell. Great job, everyone. We signed Mark Gay. We've replaced Romero. What more do you want? We know they got a track record of doing the bare minimum, if that. So we've got a lot of work to do in the summer. So my feeling is, even if we haven't got the faith in Ange, we don't want to spend funds on Ange because we think he may fail, because it looks like it's sort of heading that way. We need to get reinforcements in to sort of alleviate the pressure in the summer and to make our life easier in the summer. Signing players like Tyler Dibling, we don't have to worry about doing that in the summer. That's good. Signing if we can get Cunha, I mean, I'm going to get into that in a minute. Fuck me, what a signing that would be! And then that's a position or two positions that's filled for the summer. Like these are smart. This is a smart time to be aggressive and be proactive, and that's exactly what we're not doing, and that's why it's so frustrating. If we can get a defender in or a left back or a centre back, that's a position we don't need to cover in the summer. We can go out there, be efficient, sign a number six, another right winger, but maybe a backup striker or someone who can play across the front line and a centre back, and then we're done. And that would fill players like Romero with confidence that no, we are serious, we are ambitious, we're not happy. Our levels have dropped, we're not happy with that. We aspire to do more, and then maybe Romero sticks around for one more season. But it's just we're not doing that, and that's the frustrating thing. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? Um, uh, Matthew says, "Damn, we're down bad." Yeah, Travis says, "I do wonder whether we'll need less reinforcement in the summer if we sack Ange. Firstly, because he needs very specific profiles, but also because it will mean the current squad will get another chance." Mate, do you know what? That's spot on, because I've been thinking this with Ange Postecoglou. We're always thinking about profiles that we need in the squad, and a lot of the profiles are either extinct or are way out of our wage structure and transfer budget. Because you look at the profiles he needs for a number six, he needs the press proven ability of Anis Basuma, but with more of a with more. Um, it, he needs like a Basuma with a football brain, more physical, maybe a bigger player for that number six. I mean, that doesn't really exist. That player that doesn't really exist. That backup for Van der Ven. Van der Ven is such a unicorn and so crucial to the way we play. He's so fundamental to that high line and making sure that nothing can get in behind us. Mate, he's a unicorn. There's not many replacements, out and out replacements on the cheap that we can get for Van der Ven. There's only about five players that could potentially cover him. But you wouldn't get the same level. So I agree, and the same with the wingers, that having that 1v1 dribbly winger, Ange needs that. He needs that. But maybe when you look at our squad from an outside point of view, without Ange, I mean, they may feel like they have the profiles there to work with, and then you don't need to spend that much money on getting. I mean, like a Carlos Baleba. I'm saying this is ridiculous. Carlos Baleba would be perfect maybe for this number six, but he would be 70 mil and he'd have bigger ambitions. Let's be honest. These are the profiles we're going to be looking for. They're so rare and they're so expensive for Ange Postecoglou. And if I'm the board member, I am looking at the results, thinking, do we want to spend big on him again if we're heading on a downwards trajectory? I don't know. Whereas a manager may look at certain players that we have and think, yeah, perfect, I'm going to run with them. So I do understand that there are the players, the profiles that Ange Postecoglou needs are very rare and very specific. So I do agree with that. So Travis says, so players like Basuma, Bentancur, etc., will stay on with a new manager, even though we know they're not good enough. So the cycle just continues. I agree with that. I feel like I've been looking at like Iraola, and I know Travis, you got your skepticism about Iraola, but if you're looking for player profiles, I think the two midfielders are Christie and Adams. We have the profiles there that could do the exact same job. I feel. We wouldn't even need an out and out six, I don't think. But then I feel like we still need to get someone in so we can just ship Bissouma, in my opinion, because he's still a sellable asset, Bissouma. Whereas and he's what, 27, 28? He'll be, is he 28 in the summer or around there? That's a good time to sell. That's a very good time to sell and start and to churn out some of these players, and start again with another new manager and get in another sort of prospect who can do the same thing. But I don't. It'll be so infuriating personally if we get a new manager in and players like Bissouma, players like, well, I know Dragusin's early in his Tottenham career, early in his career in general, but these players stick around because it's that excuse of, yeah, but the manager might make use of them, the manager might get the best out of them. No, they're not good enough, and they've been bringing us down. They failed Postecoglou, in my opinion, in certain aspects. I know, again, it's a wider question on Dragusin because I think the board failed him there. It's not the right profile. Bissouma, I mean, Ange Postecoglou's got the best out of Basuma, out of Conte and Ange, but I mean, he has been a bit of a liability over the last couple of years in important games or in specific moments that have cost us massively. And it'd just be frustrating if these players just stick around for the sake of it because there's a new manager and we may feel, oh, we might have that new manager bounce. These players need to go. Like, we need to be ruthless. We need to get rid of them and start building again and getting another fit that does suit the system, but is ready for the now and the future. Because Basuma's not going to get any better. Basuma or Bentancur, they haven't got a higher ceiling than this. But yeah, Travis says, great point on Iriola. Got to go now, but but enjoyed this. Thanks, mate. Legend, thanks for getting involved. Legend, take care. Matthew says Biss should go, too inconsistent. Yeah, I feel the same, and that's the thing. If these players stay, and we go into a new season, and they start failing another manager, it could get really hostile. It could get really toxic. So we really need to ship these types of players on, no matter who the manager is, who they are. It doesn't matter. We need to be ruthless. So that's the January objective in my head. Two reasons why we need to be aggressive in the last 10 days or so. Let's move on to Matias Cunha then. Actually, first of all, let's get a little vote. Would you sign Tyler Dibling? Well, that's a bit of a stupid question, but would you want him for the now, or would you just want to secure him as a signing and let him keep developing at Southampton? I kind of feel like we just need him. We need bodies. I mean, Johnson's injured right now. We need those extra profiles. Let me just have a sip of my coffee because my mouth's dry. Oh, it's fucking cold. It's gross. So let's talk about Matias Cunha. So there's a lot of clubs interested in him, according to Sammy Mockbell. Tottenham are one of them. Arsenal, I think Arsenal's been very well known from reports from Fabrizio Romano. I'd be fucking gutted. I'd be so annoyed if he ended up at Arsenal. I'd be really, really upset because I feel like he could do that Havertz role to the next level. I mean, he's fucking levels above Kai Havertz. He could play off the wing as well. He could be really good. I'd be really, really worried if he ended up at Arsenal personally. But Nottingham Forest are interested in him, and they're going for an ambitious. He's top of their list. They're going for an ambitious move for him, mate. If Nottingham Forest sign Matias Cunha, first of all, they pay a lot higher wages than Spurs. Second of all, they're so ambitious. Where is our ambition? If Nottingham Forest sign Matias Cunha, we have no excuses. We have absolutely no excuses not that we couldn't sign him, because he would raise the levels. He would be a ceiling raiser for our team, first team depth, everything. But Nottingham Forest, if they sign him, they have officially surpassed us in ambition, in squad level, because he would be a ceiling raiser for them as well. Which is ridiculous. I cannot believe Nottingham Forest are interested in a player of that profile and caliber. And we need to act fast. This is the type of deal that would be aggressive in the market and be back official. This would be back in Ange Postecoglou. What we need to do is, we can't give, if Ange is to go, we can't give him any excuses. We need to see him with a really strong squad before judging him, because we're down to the wire here. I mean, I'm so skeptical of him. I don't think he's handled this injury crisis well at all. I think he's so heavily reliant on Romero, Van der Ven, Solanke, Kulusevski for his system, and I haven't seen any tweaks or any tiny little adaptations. Not the philosophy, because the philosophy should stay the same. I haven't seen any tactical tweaks that alleviate some of the pressure and cover for the aspects that we miss through Romero and Van der Ven and the ball playing ability of them. I haven't seen him do anything. He's just played the same way, and we've capitulated. But Cunha would come in and raise that level. He would come in and he could play on the wing. I think he could play up front. He could help Solanke. He could help Kulusevski. I mean, Solanke and Kulusevski are in desperate need of a rest. I mean, Solanke's knee's just gone, and Cunha could come in and sort of just let them have that little bit of rest, give us a little bit of leeway because it's so tight at the moment, and you're just waiting for Decky's hamstrings or ACL to go, aren't you? Because he's played so much football to such a high intensity. Um, Matthew says I'll take him now. About Dibling, yeah, me too. I wouldn't be surprised if we did loan him out if that's the way we do it. Maybe like a Dele Alli signing with MK Dons. We signed him and he came in and then he hit the ground running. Gave him a little bit more development time. But he is injured for what, a few weeks, 6 weeks. So we'll see how he comes back. But 30 mil is such a reasonable price for that level of a talent, 100%. Proby says, let's get Johnny Cardoso in. Some good American blood in the squad. Yeah, Matthew says him and Tillman both, probably. Tillman would be really good. I do think Tillman could cover the front four to a good standard. He works hard, doesn't he? He does get back, he tracks back, but I don't know whether he would be a perfect fit for the Premier League. I think there's some aspects of him that look quite slow, maybe, but I might be wrong. But I do. Tillman would be quality. Cardoso would be really good, but it depends on the next manager coming in because he's a specific six. If that manager comes in and he needs a six like that, like a Marco Silva, maybe he could be that sort of João Paulinho type. That would be perfect, but I think we'd have to hold out to the summer and see if he's the fit that we want for that midfield. Matthew says Levy's ambition is in building hotels right now. Yeah, exactly. But on Matias Cunha, yeah, I think this would be a deal that would shock it would shock the Premier League. It would be ambitious. It would be so against what Spurs normally do, and it's a necessity. We need to do this, but I don't think we will. And I can't see us paying over 40 mil for him. I mean, I would give my third nut to pay 50 mil, 50 mil, and sign him right now. He's so good, and there's questions over his attitude, yeah, but I think he's just ambitious, and Wolves aren't in a good spot right now. I mean, is he going to want to replace? Is he going to want to leave a 17th place team and join a 15th place team? Probably not. But he would see the potential in the squad that we do have when the team is fully fit, and he would come and instantly raise the levels, and he would be our best player. He would be so good. He is so ridiculously talented, and he's that profile of ready-made but young. He has potential, and he's had experience playing across the front three. I think even in centre mid, he's brilliant, and he would fit the system like a glove. But let's see. I mean, if Nottingham Forest sign him, I'll be so pissed off. If Arsenal sign him, I'll be so pissed off. Tottenham, come on, like fucking wake up. If we sign him, even if we accelerate move, Kinski was a signing that we accelerated the move that we were planning on doing in the summer because it was a necessity. Mate, we need to accelerate, get the funds from what we're going to spend in the summer, sign Dibling now and loan him out, and sign Cunha as well. I know that's dropping 70 mil, which we won't do. But if you're a ruthless, well-run club, that's what you do. We all know we're not. But that means there's two signings that we don't need to make in the summer. It's done. Same with Kinski. Lastly, I want to talk about Milan Skriniar. So he is going to Fenerbahce. We don't have to worry too much. But see you later, Matthew. Have a good day, mate. He said, got to go educate the youth of America. Thanks, Will. Probably stay warm out there, man. Yeah, with Milan Skriniar, it's been confirmed. I think he is going to Fenerbahce. Fabrizio Romano said it was really abrupt when he tweeted this morning saying that Napoli and Fenerbahce are in conversations with Milan Skriniar. Tottenham have also approached PSG over the conditions of a deal in the last days, and then literally about 10 minutes later, he was gone to Fenerbahce. It happened really fast. Fuck me, was I relieved when he signed for Fenerbahce, because it would be the worst signing possible for the system. And mate, having Skriniar and Dragusin as backup to Van der Ven is like Usain Bolt pulling up injured in Jamaica nominating Stephen Hawkins to run the race. Like this, he is the fucking hell, I'm having a stroke. He is the antithesis, yeah, of a Van der Ven. And you know how crucial Van de Ven is to this system. If he's the replacement, if he's the understudy, fucking hell, we're in trouble because he is not fast one bit. He'll be our slowest defender instantly. Um, he struggled at PSG. He was superb at Inter Milan, and there's no question to why Conte and Mourinho wanted him so badly. Because he thrived for Conte. Mourinho wanted him at Spurs. At the time, that would have been a superb signing because he would have been 25. He was one of the best centre backs in the world at the time. And that's why Mourinho's got his man 5 years down the line. Because I mean, his best football was in the back three, under Conte, secure, defensive midfielders ahead of him, and he was secure, and he's a brilliant box defender. He would be superb if we had a Mourinho or a Conte. He would be. What he would have added was leadership, but but that's really the only really real aspect that he would sort of raise at Tottenham if he came to us, because we've got such a young team. He would be a leader. He's won things. He's a winner. He's aggressive, and that would have been the only plus. But as a player profile, fuck me, he's the last thing we need. So I think it's a massive red flag that he's the defender that we sort of looked at, and that's the whole thing about being opportunistic in January. I know every club does it, but there's no contingency plan in being opportunistic. You need to look at players that are going to be good for the now and for the future moving on. Skriniar would be a player that we want to. If say everything was rosy with Postecoglou at the end of the season, which I don't think it will be, Skriniar will be a player that we're probably looking to sell because he won't be fast enough, or he won't be the player we need him to be. So it's like I just think it's I just think it's stupid that we even asked for the conditions of the deal. It's just ridiculous, and it's so Spurs because we would have seen maybe a loan or a 5 mil transfer, so cheap, no risk. Let's get him in, and it looks like we're back in Postecoglou being like, yeah, we've signed you Milan Skriniar, mate. Like, why are you complaining? Or maybe because he's fucking slow as a snail. Like, I don't know. I think that'd be so stupid, but thankfully he's gone to Fenerbahce, and he probably will be really good in the Turkish league. Do we want to sign players that the Turkish league want? No, no, we don't. We need to be smarter than that. We need to be. That would be ridiculous. And the fact that it's such a red flag, the fact that we even went for Skriniar, it is. Nick Fadley says, sign dribbling. He may be good at fucking hell. Sign Dibling. He may be good at dribbling. Yeah, yeah. No, if we sign Dibling, I'll be so happy. He's just one of those talents you just instantly are drawn to, and he raises like bums off seats. Is that the saying? Gets your bum off your seat? I don't know. But he's going to be special, and if he can be special and be the best player of himself at Spurs, his best years at Spurs, I mean, those wingers of Moore, Dibling, Yang, Odebear, that potential there is scary. The frustrating thing is that we just haven't got anyone now. We're dreaming about 5 years' time having these really good wingers that we have right now, and they're going to be amazing. Right now, we're getting closer and closer to a relegation scrap. So, Ange may succeed in the less intense leagues. Yeah, with Ange. I mean, I don't really want to get into Ange right now, but I was thinking yesterday, it's Ange, the intensity of the Premier League, but also this is the first time in his career where he's consistently up against tactical geniuses, or where they have so many sort of bows to their arrows, and they can change their game plan like that mid game, and I don't think Ange is fast enough to adapt in game. I think he adapts, he makes slight adjustments before the game, but when that start, I don't think. Thing is, managers are so attuned to opposition adaptations that they can change their team mid game. They can change the tactic mid game. They can bring different profiles on, and I don't think Ange is used to that intensity in terms of levels of knowledge of the game. When he's in Scotland, he's in Japan, he's in Australia. He won't be up against these geniuses. We have the best managers in the world in the Premier League. But I mean, you could argue that he's beaten Guardiola. He's beaten Klopp, he's beaten Slot, he's beaten all these great managers, but on a consistent level. I mean, you're looking at teams that are in the lower end of the table that they have these. They have. I mean, they are so smart and they're so aware and they constantly make adaptations. And I feel like it's getting a bit too fast for Postecoglou when he hasn't got his best players, and he's sinking. But um, and it is worrying because right now we all know he's got injuries, but you're looking for signs that he is the man going forward. And if he hasn't got his best players, he can't play the system yet. He tries to play the system game in, game out, and we're just getting absolutely bent over. And it's not a good sign, is it? 3D3N says, hope there's like 3 signings in private because interested FC is killing me. Face orange biting nails. Yeah, mate. That's the thing. We have no idea. We're slowly getting some rumours about Dibling, Cunha, Skriniar, but reality is it will probably if there is any transfers, it'll probably be massive curveballs. It probably will be players that we don't expect, that we sign overnight. But imagine the excitement of just here we go, Matias Cunha to Tottenham. Like, can you imagine the euphoria? And I kind of think, I mean, the pressure shouldn't leave Levy if he does that. But can you imagine that as a publicity move for Levy at the moment? Like when backs against the walls and we do that, like that you'd have to give Lange credit. You'd have to give these people credit. This is the stuff they need to do, and they're not doing it. I can't imagine us doing it. But can you imagine that? Imagine the excitement we would finally feel, that dopamine that we've been deprived of over the last month, if we signed like a Matias Cunha, or if we made a big deal overnight that looks like this looks like it is back in Ange because he fits the system and he's a player for the now and for the future. But they're not going to do it, are they? Max says Ange needs to tell the media that if he doesn't get 2 outfield signings by the end of the week, he's going to quit the club. Yeah, the thing is though, they kind of got him by the balls, haven't they? Because Ange knows that he's kind of lucky to still be in the job. I think deep down, but if he comes out swinging, I think then his days are numbered. I think he has been slightly given digs out to the board, yet he does it in like a positive way. He'll say they're really trying hard. They're really trying hard. We need numbers. We need that number. So he has come out not aggressive, but he has kind of suggested how he needs players. But I don't think it's enough. I'd love to see him come out swinging, especially if he does get sacked. Come out swinging. I don't know. I don't know. I can see why he's not though. I can see why he's not because Conte wanted out. He got to the point where he wanted out. He was so prestigious, Conte, that he knew he'd get a job in the future. I mean, he's now top of the league in the Serie A again. He knew he wanted out, and that's why he sort of exploded in that press conference. I can't see Postecoglou doing it. Because I can't see Postecoglou getting a job better than Spurs in the future. I think he'll have a good career elsewhere if he does go. I can't see him having that. I think this is his best ever job he's going to get. And he's not a young manager, is he? So yeah, I'm not sure. Max says if the situation is to change, Tottenham needs to change. You can't give Ange nothing and then drag him out twice a week to get battered by the media and the job is done. Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. He needs these players. He needs reinforcement. There's only one way out of this situation, one possible way out. It looks really, really tough. And the likelihood is, even if we do back in with players, it feels terminal. It still feels very terminal because of our position in the league. If we're out of these competitions, if we get knocked out of the Carabao Cup, if we get knocked out of the FA Cup and the Europa League, fuck me, it's going to get bad. It's going to get so bad. And toxic and hostile. The best thing we could possibly do right now, the only thing we can do to try and make the situation better is get reinforcements in. It's just frustrating, isn't it? And even if we're dismissing Ange, it will just help us so much in the summer. We can be so much more efficient. There'll be less jobs to do in the summer. It's like, what are you fucking doing? It's like me when I've got uni work. I'll wait till the last minute, and then I have so much work to do, and it becomes overwhelming. But if you're efficient, if you've got your shit together, you do things earlier and so it just helps you further down the line. But we're not doing that, are we? Max says Ange will get a good job. Levy needs to kick up the arse and needs to walk. Yeah, mate. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at Nuno, he's third in the Premier League with Nottingham Forest. They may even sign Matias Cunha. You look at Antonio Conte, top of the league at Serie A. Mourinho's what, second or third in the Turkish league. I mean, I feel like Postecoglou may have success elsewhere, like he has before, but there's definitely signals, worrying red flags from how Ange has gone about this injury crisis that doesn't fill me with much hope for when players do come back, because I mean, he's so heavily reliant on them. If they get injured again, we might be in the same situation. Like, we can't. This isn't sustainable. We're a sinking ship. But again, you can alleviate that pressure by signing players and by signing squad depth and ready-made players, um, and so players can start sharing minutes and saving energy and reserving energy for the upcoming games. Who knows? Who fucking knows? But Tyler Dibling, Cunha, fuck Skriniar off. He's gone Fenerbahce, but bit of a red flag that we were in for him in the first place. Dibling, Cunha, that's their positive transfer rumours. Players that we can get behind, players for the system, for the future. Whatever manager has them will be able to get something out of them because they're quality. So we'll see, but we'll see over the next couple of days if there's any more transfer news, concrete transfer news, because there hasn't been in a while. There hasn't been a stream since last week because of the silence around the transfers. And I know Lange works in silence, but fucking hell, is he even working at all at the moment? But in the next couple of days, I'll be back with some new transfer rumours, transfer news, concrete transfer news. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for getting involved. And up Spurs.